This is the structure you can see on the screen. The number one problem is the people. That's you and I. When they say um, Nigeria is a sleeping giant, what do they mean? They're talking about the people. They're talking about you. They're talking about you, Nigerian, that is looking at me now. You, the African, that is looking at me now. And they're talking about me. Why? Because we don't have the courage to build our country, our society, and what does that mean? Institution. The traditional institution is a problem not because they are that powerful, but because the people have given them the power. And over the years, you see that under the watch of the same institution, a lot of Africans, my brothers, my sisters, our brothers and our sisters, were sold to foreigners, were sold to people all over the world, and we are still yet to recover from that big mistake. And it's still happening under the watch of the traditional institutions. Under the watch of the traditional institutions today, we see how Nigeria is. And there's a lot of things people don't understand. People think that the government is in charge. No, the government of Nigeria is not as powerful as traditional institutions. Have we forgotten what happened during the last elections? Who mobilized those boys, allegedly? We saw it on TV. Look at the case of Lagos State. Lagos State was clear on TV because maybe you have a lot of sophisticated people there that could record. But when you talk to other people, that's what goes on over the country. A lot of traditional rulers are more like card-carrying members of political parties. The other day, we saw a first-class monarch coming out thanking God and his ancestors that a particular political party won. This doesn't happen any other place in the world. And you see that the traditional rulers behave this way because they don't have any respect for the people. They don't have respect for you and I. It's just a fact. Because if they have the respect for you and I, they won't do these actions, and it's actually causing a lot of problem in our society. Why? What is responsible for the current River State um, state of emergency? Because the rivalry among the stakeholders, they want to be in charge of local government. Why is that they want to be in charge of the local government? Because they want to be in charge of the traditional institutions. You know why? Because they know that the average Nigerian, it doesn't even matter. The average Nigerian will always listen to the traditional ruler. It doesn't even matter if the traditional ruler is a criminal or if he doesn't have integrity. The average African will listen to their king, whether he's wrong or right. They see him as a deity, see him as a god. And that's why you see we are doing badly. How many times have you heard a traditional ruler coming to clamor for education for the people in his community, in his village? How many times have we seen a traditional ruler coming out and saying every child of this age, primary school age, must go to school? If not, this is what's going to happen. How many times have you heard that? I know there are some few good ones, but most of them, they just collect government allocation and they do nothing than to cause problem in the country. And the fact is that they are only able to do this because we, the people, actually give them the permission to do this. We are too scared. The average American is too scared. And what actually kills us is not the power or the sway or whatever they are going to do to the people. What kills us is our fear. Look at this data that I shared a while ago. The average African dies 10 years earlier, not African, the average Nigerian dies 10 years earlier than the average person in the world. So what are you scared of? What are we scared of? Why do we allow these guys to keep messing up the communities? If these children are educated, we won't have this Fulani issue. We won't have all this insecurity. We won't have this job issue. Go to your village, go to your city, try to find out the people that have the land. How can 5 million people be staying in a city and just a very small percentage will have the resources? That's nonsense. We are the problem. We are unable to curb the excesses of the traditional institutions over the centuries. And that's what the simple fact, and that's why we suffer. The only generation that will enjoy Africa is that generation that will be able to curb the excesses of the traditional institution. And it doesn't start with Africa. I'm going to share with you the history of America, the history of UK. Europe, the Europeans only got to enjoy their countries when they were able to curb the excesses of their traditional institutions. I will share those history with you. So it's not that we are experiencing it for the first time. That's how the world order has always been. Americans also had the same problem. I also share with you how they addressed it. But today, whenever you hear traditional institutions, they do all sorts. You will never hear an African elite or an African coming out to say, no, this is not right. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So the elections will come again and they will attempt to do the same thing they did the last elections. Disrespect the people. And it's high time we said enough is enough. If we can get our traditional rulers, our traditional institutions to ensure that each child in every village, in any community, starting from the primary school age, they go to school. What is school? This is what I'm already doing. And why I'm so pissed is because it's very easy. It's what I'm doing. Easy. It's what I'm doing. You have a small part of your palace. You can put like 5 computers there. I'm ready to share curriculum with you. I'm ready to train some of your teachers for some of communities that I can. You don't have to have a school. Just look for a small space and start training these children. That's the reason you're the leader. You're the leader to be able to give them good life. You can only give someone good life when you prepare that person educationally. So if you have children in your communities that are not developed, the only thing they do is to go and farm with their hands and they don't know anything because they want to be manipulated. How will these children turn into thieves and the rest? And most of the traditional rulers also have exposure internationally. They've gone to the best schools, their children are going to the best schools. Then why allow your people to suffer? This is the only place in the world that such things are actually being tolerated. This is the only place in the world. And Africans, millions, hundreds of millions of us will just keep quiet. We look at them as gods. They destroy our life. They destroy their lives. The militants these days go after the traditional rulers. They destroy Africa. And at the end of the day, we point government. The government, at the end of the day, Tinubu, they don't really have any power. Have you not noticed? During elections, who did they go to try to bribe? It's traditional rulers. Traditional rulers are the main problem of Nigeria today. And the reason why it's so is because we, the people, have given them that power. Yes, they should be respected, but their powers should be curbed, their excesses should be curbed. They should not have anything to do with politics. Every traditional ruler should ensure that there's no rigging. In short, if you're a traditional ruler and there's rigging in your community, really, I really don't see what you are doing as a traditional ruler. If you're a traditional ruler and the children in your community cannot go to school, to me, I feel personally you shouldn't be in that position. And the politicians have messed up the whole place by putting people of questionable characters as traditional rulers because they know the average Nigerian will just keep quiet. The average African will just keep quiet and will just listen to them. Look at Nigeria. The traditional institutions have held Africa back for centuries. Who allowed them? You and I. And as we speak, the destruction of Africa continues. Crime everywhere, agony everywhere, suffering everywhere, unproductivity everywhere. Who has the power of changing this? You and I. It is time to say enough is enough. If not, the destruction continues. But I know we are smarter than that.